I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. So we continue in the Gospels. We are right near the end. This is the day before the Passover, which starts off the final week of Christ's mortal life. What we've been reading is Christ is on the Mount of Olives with his apostles, and he's giving them some final words. They came here asking him about the last days, asking him about the signs of the times of when he will return. And we got that great prophecy, we had it in Matthew chapter 24, Mark chapter 13, and Luke chapter 21. All a great prophecy of the last days. We read it in the Joseph Smith translation, which made it even better. And last, we read Matthew chapter 25, the three great parables of the last days, also taught to the apostles at this time to help them understand the last days and the second coming. Now, we are going to read the Joseph Smith translation of Matthew chapter 25. There is a whole lot here. Most every verse has some correction to it, although most of it does seem to be somewhat minor. So let's look here. Verse 1 now reads, "And then at that day, before the Son of Man comes, the kingdom of heaven shall be likened unto 10 virgins who took their lamps." And then in verse 2, 5 of them were foolish. So this makes it clear that this parable, the parable of the 10 virgins, is talking about the time immediately before the second coming. Are we ready? Are we preparing? Now the other two deal a lot more specifically with the second coming itself. This one, the parable of the 10 virgins, the second coming is the coming of the bridegroom. So before the second coming, we are all waiting in anticipation. Do we have the oil to light our lamps? Verse 6 changes ye to you. Verse 9 is now as follows. "But the wise answered, saying, Lest there be not enough for us and you, go you rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves." Just minor grammatical change. Verse 11, instead of open to us, is open unto us. Verse 12, at the end there, instead of I know you not, it is you know me not. And that is a very significant change. It's not that Christ is rejected. It is not that we are not known of Christ. It is that those who are not prepared don't understand the need to prepare. They didn't understand what they were supposed to be doing. They didn't understand who Christ was, and so they didn't prepare properly. And when they come begging to be let in, Christ is saying, you didn't understand the commandments. Anyways, in verse 13, ye is again corrected to you. Verse 14, we now have this introduction. "Now I will liken these things unto a parable, for it is like as a man traveling into a far country." Nice little introduction, but nothing new in meaning. Verse 15, at the end there, instead of straightway took his journey, it is now straightway went on his journey. Verse 16, at the end, and made them other 5 talents is corrected to, and gained other 5 talents, which actually makes a lot more sense, but not real significant. Verse 17, and likewise he who had received 2 talents, he also gained other 2. So we add that word talents in there. And in verse 18, remove the word had, but he that received 1. In verse 20, at the beginning we're going to, instead of just received 5 talents, it's received the 5 talents. And then at the end, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. Pluralizes that. In verse 21, instead of well done, thou good and faithful servant, it's just well done, good and faithful servant. In verse 22, take out the word other, so I have gained 2 talents beside them. In verse 24, now reads, Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee, that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not scattered. That's interesting. It doesn't really change the meaning, but it does kind of allude to the scattering of Israel and the scattering of nations and all that. Then we have verse 25. I'm going to just read the whole thing again. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. And lo, here is thy talent. Take it from me, as thou hast from thine other servants, for it is thine. So this shows us that the 10 and the 4, the master comes and he takes back what is his. And this, when Christ returns, at Adam on Diam, all the priesthood keys will return to Christ. and he will rule over the earth. And that is, the talents are returned. What is his is his. And then, after he claims what is his, he then appoints these servants to be rulers over many things. And so, the man that has 1 talent comes back and says, yes, I'm giving you what is yours, in essence expecting his own reward because he is still returning what rightly belongs to God. So again, we understand that these servants are all members of the church. They are waiting for their Lord, and they are returning what was given to them by God, willingly returning it to them. It's interesting. Verse 26. Let's actually just read the rest of this parable, verses 26 through 29. His Lord answered and said unto him, O wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not scattered. Having known this, therefore, thou oughtest to have put my money to the exchangers, and at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. I will take therefore the talent from you, and give it unto him who hath 10 talents. For unto every one who hath obtained other talents shall be given, and he shall have an abundance. But from him that hath not obtained other talents shall be taken away even that which he hath received. And his Lord shall say unto his servants, Cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, it's only real clarifications more than changes meaning, but I do like this. Instead of everyone that hath shall be given more, but it's who hath obtained more talents. Those who have done the work, those who have applied themselves well, will receive more. Those who have not will have taken what was given. And then there he says unto his servants, Cast ye the unprofitable servant out. That almost sounds like it's going to be us who casts the wicked out. Just a thought. Now let us continue this. In verse 31, instead of then shall he sit upon the throne, it is then he shall sit upon the throne. We just changed the word. And then he divideth his sheep from the goats, is he divideth sheep from the goats. Take out the word his. Again, minor corrections. In 33, well, let's read 33 through 35. The sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. And he shall sit upon his throne, and the 12 apostles with him. And then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. So, minor changes except that one. He will sit on his throne with the 12 apostles. They will sit as judges of Israel. Now in verse 44 and 43 and 45, ye is corrected to you. And then in 45 at the end there, did it not to me is corrected to did it not unto me. And finally in 46, this is a possible translation, changing into to unto. All very minor. Most of the Joseph Smith translations, they're very minor. There are a couple of things that do clarify very nicely the meaning of these parables. But for the most part, it's nothing earth-shattering. So we leave it there. I honestly don't remember what I'm reading next, so we'll have fun figuring it out, and I'll see you there.